If you put a lens on a camera, which believe it or not is all we've talked about up until now, it looks like this.
I mean, that's cool, but how come it doesn't look like a real movie camera yet? Attachments. You need so many attachments. It's common for you to spend more money on attachments for a camera than the actual camera itself. These are all the things you need to take your camera from this
To this. Camera bodies tend to come with this very sleek design with lots of buttons and very few places to screw anything in. This is why we must trap the camera in a cage, like so. Now we can screw things into the cage, like fun stuff like a handle or another camera.
In addition to a cage, you might want to expand the base of the camera using a special plate which you can add 15mm rods to. You can use these rods to support the weight of the lens, or even add a large external battery to the back, like this V-mount battery, which powers the camera from its D-tap port here into the dummy battery here.
You can also add a focus motor to the 15mm rod.
This motor allows you to change the focus of the lens without turning it yourself. You can even wirelessly pull focus using a focus wheel, like this.
A specially designed focus system has a lot of advantages, including easy marking of focus positions and the ability to outsource pulling focus to your first AC.
In order to see what you're focusing more clearly, or to help your director of photography get those nice cinematic shots, you often want a larger monitor on top of the camera. Good monitors will have extra features like focus peaking, which shows what's in focus, zebra stripes, which shows what's exposed, or even options which allow you to change the camera settings from the monitor.
Monitors can be connected with SDI, HDMI, or if the camera is dumb, micro HDMI. They can be attached using articulating arm or a cold shoe, which is often on top handle.
Stop! This is an articulating arm. This is a cold shoe. Continue.
Oftentimes, especially when the camera is moving, there will be members of the crew who want to view the footage without standing behind the camera operator and looking over their shoulder. In this case, the video signal can be wirelessly transmitted via wireless HDMI transmitters, which in turn will be received by receivers and fed into other monitors on set. This is especially important for your first AC pulling focus on a moving camera shot.
Speaking of camera movement, there are lots of tools you can use to move your camera safely and smoothly. The one you've probably heard of is a gimbal, which stabilizes the camera's rotation, like this. For aerial shots, you can use a drone, like so.
If your camera is very large and heavy, carrying a gimbal can be quite taxing for your camera operator. In this case, we have this contraption to help support the weight, moving it onto your back, allowing the operator to focus more on the camera moving. All this is great, but don't underestimate the old-fashioned tripod. If you have a good one, you can adjust the friction of the head to allow for smooth camera pans and tilts.
By the way, quick crash course on movement terminology. Turning the camera left and right is called pan, while up and down is tilt. Turning it off axis in a Dutch angle is called roll. When you physically move the camera forward, it's called dollying, and to the side is called trucking, and up is booming. A combination of zooming the lens and dollying is called a dolly zoom and produces this neat effect.
On the higher end of filmmaking, there are lots of cool tools you can use to get extra smooth camera movements. One of these is the Steadicam, which allows for vertical stabilization and prevents the camera from bouncing as you walk. Another is the dolly, which is basically a cart that can also ride on tracks and get incredibly smooth linear or circular camera moves. A cheaper approximation of that is the camera slider, as we have here.
Finally, you have, in my opinion, the best of them all, the techno crane. Wow. 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 Oh, that's all. Bye-bye!